Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, I'll be reviewing my round 10 tips for AFLW and just going through and looking at them and seeing how well I finished off the season for there. So let's just jump into this quick video here. So round 10, I ended up getting a perfect 9 for 9. My rank went from the start of the round, it was 2205, and now it's up to a 1601. So that is just over 600 rank rise in the end. And I'm pretty sure I maybe clawed one back on the leader in Tegan of the overall comp, and she smashed it, as you see here, winning it by 3 on Roz, who ended up going one above. So yeah, in the end, I was still about 10 back from the third place, which really all happened in the last week, as in the and yeah, as you see here for the rankings for the week, I ended up with a with 390th for the week, which is a pretty good week, but it was, I'm pretty sure, one of these weeks here where I just got absolutely flattened in it. Was it this one? Yeah, this one here, a 13,000 rank for the round with a 4 tipper. Was really bad. No one actually got the correct tips in that week 8, but yeah, it was one of those rounds where I let it slip, and that was one of the major differences. Whereas there was another round where I had a really bad round in. Let's just see, yeah, round 5, 8,300 and 7,300 as well, and then also another 870. So yeah, just needed more of these 870 rounds, and then round 1 as well, I had a really big stinker, yeah, 10,000. But anyway, jumping back into this, if we go to the comps, let's just see. I ranked 8th in my tipping comp. Rod ended up with a 76, which was well above me. Harmon with a 73, Matthew with another 73 here as well. A lot of you guys also got the full 9 here. Hugo with the 72, Dominic with the 70, Craig a 70, and then Edward with a 69 as well. And then Jacob just behind me with a 68, let it slip with an 8 here, as well as John with a 7 in the final round for a 68. And then you have Timber, John again. How many Johns do we have here? Or is that just the Johns just stacked up here? Oh, it's probably slightly. That seems a little bit off there. Multiple Johns. Zach, Thomas, Daniel, etc. Kaylee, Sam, Michael, etc. Raymond. We get through there, so you guys all finished there, and let's just track it through the year. I was 10th. What was I after? Like round 8 as well. I was 13th, so I came back a little bit, which was a good thing. Round 7, I was back at 9th. So yeah, I was always probably in and around that 8th and 9th place. It looks like 8th, 9th, 10th, etc. for this league. I was actually down in 18th after that, so round 6 was a pretty good round for me comparative to everyone else. But it is what it is. Let's just go through now the tips for it, and we'll finish off the tipping now until what the men's come back in March, I think is round 1. But yeah, let's go through it. So Adelaide against Geelong. I said Adelaide by 26. They ended up winning by 4 in a nail biter. So that was a pretty good, well, not actually really good prediction there. But Adelaide, they end up squeaking through into the, and doing their job and getting into the top 4, which was huge for them on that front. Then you have Melbourne against Collingwood. Melbourne getting the win by 47 points. I had them by 20, so really a little bit off there. Collingwood fell off a little bit, I would say, and so that was a little bit disappointing for them, but it's been a disappointing year all round for them. Sydney ended off this season on a high. Bella Smith kicked 5. Maybe is she the key forward foil to Prevatelli? We'll see, but yeah, that was really good to see, and it was basically a win-win for Sydney that they couldn't really get lower, I would say, with a loss. I mean, if GWS had held on against Port Adelaide and Sydney had lost, then they would have fell one spot further down the table and gotten a better draft pick. But this is one of those situations where, to me, it really, in the end, with GWS also losing, it was a good scenario to win it, because you're you win it and you don't lose anything from actually winning it. So, yeah, Sydney smashed West Coast Eagles in the end. West Coast had a pretty disappointing end to the season. I think 2-7 in their last 9 games. So, yeah, pretty disappointing for them. And it might have even been 0-6 or something like that in their last 6, if I remember correctly. We always thought this, and I said Sydney by 12, by the way. We always thought that the Kangaroos would smoke them. I didn't think by 63 points in the end. So in the end, I had them by 43. I thought they'd taper off a little bit. And I mean, they sort of did, but they still smoked them. So that was 20 points off. My tips this round were quite a ways off. Essendon by 17. They ended up winning by 36. I had it pretty much bang on at 3/4 time, and then Essendon kicked away in the last. Just seen the news that I believe Bonnie Toogood's out for the season, to be honest with you. If I go Bonnie Toogood, this should come up. I think this should come up. Yep, ankle injury, missing finals for her, so that's very disappointing in the end. And then you have here St Kilda against, but it didn't stop Essendon. St Kilda against Brisbane. I had Brisbane by 36, and they would have probably won by close to 36. It would have been 33 if Wardlaw hadn't knocked in the goal right on the siren there. So yeah, in the end, Brisbane get the job done, do what they need to do, and yeah, they couldn't really do much more as the likes of Hawthorn won in the end their game. Hawthorn kicked away late to win by 23. I had them up by 16 in my prediction, so that was an alright prediction. Port Adelaide against GWS. I had Port by 24. They had an iffy free kick to win it, but they won it. They're in the finals, and they play Richmond at Port Adelaide rather than at Richmond. So if they had lost, but it is or what it is, they've done really, really well there to get that situation. And then I had Freo by 20 against Western Bulldogs. Western Bulldogs definitely looked a lot better side and probably not a wooden spooner. Well, they didn't actually win the wooden spoon. They won 4 games in the end. So they looked really good. They almost looked like probably close to a top 8 side, give or take, in the last month of the year. They looked really poor, and we were thinking, are they actually going to win a game? And if you actually think about it, Collingwood probably should have gone winless. Their only win was a technology error against Gold Coast, which would have lifted Gold Coast up here as well, above, and it would have meant that Sydney's win actually jumped them above Gold Coast, if you actually think about it in reality, but it is what it is. Collingwood, yeah, really disappointing campaign from them. Gold Coast, the same, given what they put out. Sydney copped injuries early, and also was always going to be a tougher campaign facing top sides in the end, and GWS have been pretty poor this year in general, and for the last couple. Carlton, I think they're going through a regrowth stage. West Coast looked good early, but fell away. Western Bulldogs, a lot of promise. Can they push up the ladder and potentially make finals next year? We'll see, given how young their list is. St Kilda, pretty disappointing to miss out from where they position themselves. Geelong came back late, but yeah, just faced a couple of tough teams late to basically put an end to their season. And Melbourne pretty much got stuffed over just by a couple of injuries and stuff like that, but they came home with a wet sail and almost picked Essendon and Richmond in 7 and 8. I think they can give a fair challenge to Port Adelaide. And this sort of was, after about 3 rounds, pretty much what I predicted the top 5 or so to be. I knew Freo would be in and around that spot. Adelaide, I'm surprised that they're there, but they've made it to the top 4, which is all they needed to do. And they're playing Kangaroos, so it's very, very likely that you'll see these probably 4 teams in the last 4, I would say. But anyway, I've somehow stretched this video out to 9 minutes, and that's the video there going through all of the tips and reviewing round 10 and all of the tips for the AFLW season and how you guys did. Thank you guys for all going and putting yourself into that competition I had for, or the league that I had for the fantasy tipping, I guess. And I will hope to see you guys all in the, if you are going to play the BBL Supercoach and into the league that I'll have there, and I'll be sprouting that for the next couple of weeks as we get towards the BBL Supercoach team for the start of the season. So I hope to see you guys tag along for that competition there. But anyway, I guess if you did enjoy it, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and I'm signing out for the last time of the AFLW fantasy season, or AFLW season in general. So, bye guys.